Good morning, America. Jedi One, aka Ramblin' Randy here, and welcome to the AM Buzz. And it's happening again today, this Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday is when they drop the bombshell, right about closing time up in D.C. and let everybody mull over everything that's taking place. I'm currently monitoring the Tom Finton. He's talking about Rosenstien right here. Let me let you listen in how Rosenstien was blatantly has been caught setting up to trying to take a coup on the government. Listen to this.
Remember, Mueller was appointed rising from discussions about how to remove the president from office, both lawlessly, all lawlessly in my view. And of course, all of that was precipitated by James Comey stealing Trump's FBI files and leaking them to the media. Crime on top of crime led to Mueller's appointment as part of an effort to remove him from office. Dare I say it, coup-like activity? So we had sued for these documents. No one else is asking for them. You've got the Attorney General of the United States, for the practical purposes, acting Attorney General, acting FBI Director, talking about targeting Trump with a wire in the Oval Office. We've got the memo. I talked about it with you. Andrew McCabe wrote it. And the memo makes it clear Rosenstien wasn't being sarcastic. And certainly we have other documents showing they talked about the 25th Amendment. Now we have the shady communications with Mueller. They also show that Rosenstien had cozy relationships with the anti-Trump media, talking to the New York Times directly, talking to 60 Minutes directly, talking to the Washington Post directly, and they are cheerleading him on. Rosenstien writes his friend in the Washington Post, Sari Horowitz. I don't know, literally they're friends, but this is a friendly email. At some point, I owe you a long story, Rosenstien writes, but this is not the right time for me to talk to talk to anybody. Horowitz had written, now I see why you couldn't talk today, which implies he's talked to him before. Obviously, we're writing a big story about this. Is there any chance I could talk to you on background about your decision? Why would he communicate with him? Or I'm not sure if Sari is a woman or a male.
So this is what Tom's doing right now. And let me pause this for 1 second.
Years ago. That's a very nice question. Let me shake your head. Come here. That's a very nice question. That's almost a surprise. I figured that was a trick question, right?
Also, what's your letter to Pelosi say? When will you?
Well, we'll be issuing a letter. As everybody knows, we've been treated very unfairly, very different from anybody else. If you go over not only history, I mean, you go over any aspect of life, you'll see how unfairly we've been treated. We've done a fantastic job. Everything to me is about corruption. We want to find out what happened with 2016, and as you know, there's a lot of work going on in that. I don't care about Biden's campaign, but I do care about corruption. His campaign, that's up to him. Politics, that's up to them. I don't care about politics. Politics, as I think I made clear, and yesterday somebody asked me a question, and I gave an answer, but always in the form of corruption. What I want to do, and I think I have an obligation to do it, probably a duty to do it, corruption. We are looking for corruption. When you look at what Biden and his son did, and when you look at other people, what they've done, and I believe there was tremendous corruption with Biden, but I think there was beyond corruption, having to do with the 2016 campaign and what these lowlifes did to so many people, to hurt so many people in the Trump campaign, which was successful despite all of the fighting us. I mean, despite all of the unfairness. So we are looking at corruption. We're not looking at politics. We're looking at corruption.
What did you think the Chinese about the Biden, sir?
I don't know. Somebody said that a long time ago. Was that in 2017? I don't know. You'd have to tell me when. All I can tell you this. When I speak to foreign leaders, I speak in an appropriate way. If you notice, they don't mention the call that I had with the president of Ukraine. They don't mention that because it was so good. The only time they mentioned it was when Adam Schiff made it up. You talk about Pinocchios, that should get 10 Pinocchios. He made up a story. It was a phony story, Adam Schiff. So they don't talk about that anymore. You know, when this came out, it was quid pro quo. Well, there was none. Also, yesterday, the ambassador, who I heard was tremendous and a tremendous person, he was 100% for what we're saying. 100%. And if you look, he also said there was no quid pro quo. That's the whole ballgame. But now the Democrats don't bring that up anymore because they lost. Look, they never thought I was going to release the phone call between the Ukrainian president and myself. When I released that call, they were jumping around like you wouldn't believe. They didn't know how to respond. And then they found out that the call itself was so bad for them. It was a perfect call. There was nothing. We hand that call out. We handed the call out to people and they say, wow, this is incredible. We're very proud of that call. When I speak to a foreign leader, I speak in an appropriate manner. Now, we're also doing trade deals with China and we're doing deals with a lot of people for the country. So I'm not looking to insult people, I can tell you that. But we could probably find that out.
Would you be more willing to do a trade deal with the Chinese if they investigate Biden?
No, it has nothing to do with it. No, I want to do a trade deal with China, but only if it's good.
So you can see what's happening is Trump is setting up that really, and this is the true thing, is that I don't care myself personally here as Ramblin' Randy. I don't care who's in charge up there as long as they're going after the corruption and moving forward to eradicate the centralized banking system. Until that's done, people, nothing is done. Make no mistake about it. Until we balance the scales across the globe, this U.S. dollar has been propped up by the bankers for so long, it's artificial and it's got to go. We've got to have a fair exchange of value, not just some trumped up cliche on words there, a little play on words. Because this is what's happening. We have to have a new system globally for the distribution of valid value or currency worth. Now, Tom Finton over here, he's still talking about what Rosenstien did. These people were after Trump, and it's not necessarily after Trump. What they're after is they're after that control of our essence, our true being inside. It doesn't even have anything to do really too much with the currency other than that's where we store our lives is in the work that we do, the creative work that we do. We vest that. People see value in it, and then we take our hard work, creative powers, and we invest that into a storehouse of value. It could be gold, it could be silver, it could be cookies, it could be tea leaves, it could be dollars, but that's what's taking place. Now, Tom Finton right now is showing that we're kind of spinning there as far as making a connection to Tom. I'm on a dial-up, so not a dial-up, but I'm on a modem, and it's having problems staying connected here, but we'll come back. We'll see if Fox is, Trump's still talking. We'll listen to see what Trump's got to say. We'll go back to Tom Finton.
Something, maybe higher. So I think you got your first glimpse of what's going to happen. And the big key is that I have to campaign there. But if you look at what happened in North Carolina, 2 races, we won both of them.
We got a long road going uphill here, and till we get to November, and that's what we're doing here. Let me see if Tom is still talking. It's showing him live, but I'm having a problem with my dadgum. Let me do this. Okay, we got Tom back. We'll sit on him just a little bit and see what he's got to say, then we'll wrap this morning call up.
Which is covering up for her, unlike the Justice Department, which is covering up for her, and the State Department, which is covering up for her, and of course, protecting themselves. There was news this week that the State Department IG, I think, has sent letters around to people who had been using her email account, both directly and indirectly, because they were sending classified information improperly to her and using the wrong accounts to send classified information, unsecured accounts. And of course, they're all up in arms thinking it's a plot by Trump to resurrect the Clinton email issue. The outrage is they're only doing this 7 years after the fact. And my guess is they're doing it in response to the federal court judge who was furious at the State Department's cover-up, and he excoriated both the State Department and Justice Department for it, not only under the Obama administration, but under the current administration. So things are moving on the Clinton email front because of Judicial Watch leadership.
This is all good, people. We're moving in the right direction. We'll take a quick look about the neighborhood and see what's going on. We'll wrap this up, and you can see me tonight. If you're not familiar with how this works, there's a little button down there on Twitter or on Facebook, on YouTube, that you can hit subscribe and then hit the notifications bell, and that will let you know when I'm doing these videos. Spread these around as to many people as you can. We'll be launching a program here in the future, about a couple weeks hopefully, that if you've got content, you got value, you have some input that you want to make on any of these topics that we go over, you can go to the Rabbit Hole Herald and you can make your comments up there. And if they are worth the value, then our members will see it. They may flip you a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter as a compensation for the value that they gained. If there's 1 million people there, do the math. 1 million times 10 cents is what? Do the math. This is Ramblin' Randy, Jedi 1. Until the next call, we down.